Salutations, one and all. This is my review of RWBY Volume 7, Episode 10. I think we can all agree right now that the MVP of this episode was Ironwood. I mean, seriously. This man has been not doing well this volume, like, at all. But this one gave one speech and he turned it all around. Inspired his people, tricked his enemies into falling into multiple traps. Just, oh my god, it was so well done. I absolutely loved it. I mean, I think the best way to describe this is this whole volume, Ironwood's been a politician, living a life of a politician, trying to act like a politician. But he's not a freaking politician. He's a general. He's here to inspire his people, and that's what he did. And it was just so amazing, and I loved it. I mean, the hand-holding with Robin Hill on its own was just absolutely amazing. You know, really let the people know, yes, I'm telling you the truth. And even more than that, it served as a trap for Watts. I mean, when Ironwood said the communication tower has already been finished and we're about to launch it, I'm like, wait a minute, he finished it? When did he do that? I think they were still miles away, but I guess so. They must have rushed and finished it early. Good for them. Nope, they panned away from Ironwood's hand in his shot, so you couldn't tell that he was lying, and that was just such a good use of the semblance. I loved it. He also tells the entire world about Salem, and Ruby is just like so proud of him right here because she's actually pretty worried about this. I mean, because, you know, when all of Ruby's friends and family found out that Salem was immortal, they did not take the news well. I mean, the apathy definitely made it worse, but Crow basically tried to drink himself to death. John went crazy, angry, and violent and saw Pyrrha's ghost, maybe. They handled the news poorly, but Ironwood heard the news, he managed to overcome it, and he came out of it stronger than he was before, so good on him. I mean, I think this is the big debate of this volume, whether or not Ruby was right to lie to Ironwood. I mean, she was definitely afraid that he would have a similar reaction to her team, her family, when they found out the truth, and she's just afraid of that, but she's happy to know that she was wrong and that he managed to overcome the news. Now, he might not have been able to overcome the news at the start of the volume, but last episode he definitely went through some growing and acceptance, and I definitely think that helps, but good on you, Ironwood. You're absolutely amazing. I just absolutely love this scene right here of the people turning on Nora like that. I've heard some complaints about that, but seriously, these people think that Ironwood and Atlas are attempting to murder every last one of them, to freeze them. I mean, this whole volume, they've seen Atlas do horrible, horrible things to them. And what wasn't always Atlas who did it, usually it was Tyrion and Watts. They don't know that. So they have no reason to trust these huntresses that came down Atlas. For all they know, the plan is for them to take out all the Grimm and then turn on the people and start slaughtering them. Basically, they just don't want to die, so good justification right there. I mean, once they know the truth, that Ironwood isn't lying to them, and Robin is standing with Ironwood here, they turn to cheers. They're like, yes, we're not gonna die, yay! And we have Ironwood trapping Watts in the Coliseum, which is a totally badass scene. I mean, seriously. By this point, I was suspecting that it was a trap, but the general facing Watts on his own just didn't see that coming like this. I'm very excited for it. But Watts throwing away his bag like this, I'm calling it now. There's something in the bag, some kind of robot or nanotech or something that's going to pop out and kill the general while he thinks Watts has been defeated. But, you know, I really have to question Ironwood's decision to trap Watts in the Coliseum with a super advanced technology, the super advanced technology that Watts can hack. I mean, I get it, this is the only place where he could really, lure Watts into a trap, but I feel like he's going to be at a bit of disadvantage here, just saying. Also looks like this is a low-gravity arena, I'm not sure. Don't think we ever saw this in the Volume 3, but definitely lead to an interesting fight, I'm excited for that. Oh, we also saw Watts' gun, it's interesting, I'm not really sure what to make of it. It seems to have two separate barrels to fire two separate types of bullets. I'm kind of reminded of Weiss's weapon here, where it fires different types of dust. Wonder if that's the same thing here, or maybe even he had a hand in designing Winter's weapon. I definitely want more backstory to him. I mean, I know flashbacks are expensive and whatnot, but just, some information about what exactly he did. What was his job? Why did he leave? What was his big plan that Ironwood vetoed? So many questions. Anyway, then on to Tyrion, and this guy is just absolutely freaking insane. I mean, the way he's animated, the way his voice actor speaks, everything just screams, I suffer from mental illness! And it's just so well done. I absolutely love him, and I cannot wait for this fight. Seriously, Robin and Crow and Clover against Tyrion. Oh my god, this is going to be amazing. And we don't know that much about Robin, but I'm assuming she's, one of the best, strongest huntresses in all of Atlas, given her position as, the leader of the Happy Huntresses. And Crow and Clover are two of the strongest we know, too, so this is going to be an amazing fight. Though there are quite a few people online who are arguing that because Clover doesn't appear in the opening when Robin and Crow are fighting Tyrion, that means he's going to betray them, and he's actually been the spy this whole time. They further this up with the call he takes in the middle of the episode, which I assumed was from Ironwood, but it could have been from Watts or Tyrion giving him new orders. I'm actually I like this theory early on in the first few episodes, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. I mean, for one thing, the opening isn't always literal. We see Ironwood fighting in the streets of Mantle, but his big battle is in the Atlas Arena, so things aren't always exactly how they appear in the opening. And quite frankly, I just have a hard time imagining why Clover would join Salem. Tyrion, he worships Salem, so it makes sense for him to follow her. Hazel wants revenge for her sister's death. Watts wants revenge on Ironwood. Adam wanted revenge on the humans and to, take over the world. Everyone has something they want, the reason for joining Salem, a reason to do what they do. And I just can't figure out what Clover's would be. He is the leader of the most respected band of huntresses, the strongest city in the world. Why exactly would he leave? What's the point of doing that? They could just argue, oh, I'm crazy, just like Tyrion is, and that's why I'm following Salem, but that would just feel disappointing. I feel like there has to be a reason, a justification for his actions here if he does end up being the spy, and I really want to know what they are. Like I said, if he ends up being the spy, that's still really hypothetical at this point. It could just be the three of them end up fighting Tyrion, and huzzah, it's a good day. Though, as one comment online really makes me want Clover to be the spy. It basically said, Crow's response to that would be, that's just my luck. And that would be really freaking hilarious, and I want to see that, but let me think down below. You think Clover is the spy? Alright, so rest of the episode. This opening shot is you see all the people running through the streets, the Grimm chasing after them, just all this craziness and madness. This was just so beautifully animated. I really loved how this came out. This next one, I love that Nora actually looks exhausted here. Like, it makes it very clear they've been fighting the Grimm for long enough where even Nora and her boundless, limitless energy is starting to run low. That's just a really good way of emphasizing they've been fighting for quite a while. And then Blake, seriously, she spends like a full minute of the episode running away from Grimm. I know this was all, to lead them in the trap, but her whole story arc is literally, I want to stop running away, and they use her as bait to run away from the Grimm to lure them into a trap here. That kind of feels like a step back for you, Blake, I'm sorry. Though the shot of Yang filling that Grimm with explosives and then having Elm throw it in the air was, it made it pretty worth it. I like that. John! What the heck happened to you? Seriously? From walking kids to school, you learned how to become a strong, confident leader and give out orders? I just absolutely love that. I was really expecting when John got morning duty to walk kids to school, it would either just be a one-off joke or the kids would absolutely destroy him, make fun of him, not listen to him, all this and that. But no, it actually made him a better leader. Props to you, Rooster Teeth, for turning a joke and making it into a serious plot point for him. I love it. I'm also kind of curious they do the same thing with this thirsty mom right here, because, again, she's been in, like, every single episode. She feels super important. Can't imagine they're just reusing the character model. I feel like she has to be important. Then flashback over to Cinder and Neo, and they're actually a little surprised. Apparently Vacuo was supposed to be the next target, but things changed. They move on to Atlas instead. They said last volume the embargo Ironwood was imposing was hindering their plans, so I'm kind of curious if that has something to do with it, or maybe, the flying monkey army we saw at the end of last volume. I assumed it was being sent to Atlas to deal with them, but what if Salem's attacking Vacuo right now, like, directly? Like, this volume's going to end with them getting the communication tower up, and the first thing they're going to see is a warning message from Vacuo saying that Salem attacked them directly, her flying monkey army destroyed everything, and they managed to get the relic, or something like that. Definitely be interesting and unexpected. I mean, from who they have left, Hazel, Mercury, and Emerald could all be in Vacuo right now, finding their own. The flying monkeys could still be heading towards Atlas. But I think it'd be an interesting twist if the monkeys hit Vacuo first, and then Atlas got like a good warning ahead of time that they're on their way. I mean, is anyone else like really concerned that Neo is going to disguise herself as RWBY to steal the relic from Oscar? Because that would be very, very bad, and I do not want to see that. We also get a weirdly selfless decision from Cinder right here. She says, no, we get what I need first, then we get what we want. So she's putting her revenge against RWBY to the side in order to go after the relic and the maiden. I mean, I know she wants the maiden's power, but is that really more important to her than revenge? It doesn't seem that way based on everything we've seen so far, and the fact, she's straight up betraying Salem in order to murder RWBY. So I'm really curious about this. Has she become less focused on revenge? Does she think she needs the Winter Maiden's power to really stop RWBY's team so that she can so that Neo can go after her herself? What is she thinking here? I'm just really curious about that. I'm really hoping that next episode we get some more info on her and exactly what it is she's after here. Also, Neo gave us the cutest thing ever, pouting RWBY. Oh my god, that was absolutely adorable and I loved it. I've seriously seen fan art of RWBY in that exact same pose before, and it was just so amazing to see this in the real show. Anyway, on to RWBY, and I really do love that she tried to use her silver eyes here, because if she hadn't, everyone would have been like, oh, why is she just using her silver eyes? Why didn't she just use her eyes to beat the Grimm? Oh, why didn't she use her eyes? Why didn't she use her eyes over and over again? But here we clearly see that she just could not do it. There's too much chaos going on, too much noise, too much background. The people screaming, the jets going overhead, the battles all around her. She just can't get the focus she needs to do it properly right now. I mean, when she fought Leviathan, she had to use Jin to give her a few seconds to calm down, to breathe, before she could finally unleash her power. So it makes sense, she can't use it in the heat of battle, which definitely makes it less OP than I thought it was. Also, RWBY can apparently fly now. I know she's done something like this in the past, but here it feels way more free, like she can move in any direction that she wants. I'm actually really excited to see how this affects her fighting style moving forward. And then Penny got thrown 300 feet away, and oh my freaking god, she is adorable. Ouch, those tusks sure are dangerous. Oh my god, Penny, you were just so freaking cute this episode, and I'm so glad you're back. She's also way more powerful. I mean, Jesus Christ, the death beam she launched seems way stronger than her last one. And what's more, she can launch multiple death beams at once. It's just like such a great way of showing how much more powerful she's become. And then they cut off the tusk and freaking impale the Grimm on its own tusk. Oh, that was awesome, and I loved it. And then the people cheered once again for their savior, the protector of Mantle, and I just love that. I mean, looking back, I do kind of wish I'd gotten more about Penny's role as protector of Mantle. How it makes her feel to have the people rely on her, how it felt when the people turned against her, stuff like that. I think it would have made this scene a little more emotional, but I still really loved it. So people trust Penny again, and that's absolutely amazing. Alright, so moving forward, next episode. Well, we have the Tyrion versus Crow, Clover, and Robin battle. That's going to be amazing. We're going to have the Watts versus Ironwood battle. That's going to be absolutely amazing. And then I guess just the rest of the guys. And then I guess Neo versus Oscar. Wow, that'd be amazing. Oh, I'm excited for that. I mean, this episode was particularly short, only like 15 minutes. And yet my review is over 30 minutes at this point. Wow. But I'm thinking that's just because they want to set things up for the next episode. And this one coming up, I hope it's going to be a little bit longer. And I'm hoping it's going to have, all the fights we've been waiting for so long. We're in the end game now, and I just can't freaking wait for it. Still think Atlas is going to fall out of the sky when Tyrion or Watts or Salem ends up stealing the relic. I'm not sure if Salem's flying monkeys are going to end up showing up in Atlas's volume or if they're attacking Vacuo right now. Hard to say. But just can't wait to see what happens next. Super excited. Let me think about all this down below. Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video. And until then,
peace.